smash that subscribe button, hit the likes, and leave weird comments, which we did get a weird comment about NC State last night, because you and I talked yesterday ahead of NC State's game against Furman that, man, apathy, I can't help but think that apathy is setting in, because we put out Hey Joe question call-outs every day, or at least I do, and there's a recurring theme over the last couple of weeks, and it's from NC State fans going, all right, when's Kevin Keatts getting fired? It's like, whoa. The season just got started. Let's see where things are going. It's not like State doesn't have some nice players, right? Let's wait. They start off the season 0-2 in conference play. They're not seeing another conference game until next Thursday against Louisville. They got Furman, or they had Furman last night. They got Vanderbilt this weekend. And you were there last night. And when I say there's nobody going to these games, the opponent matters and the record matters. I think yesterday was a combination of the two. Furman's not exactly drawing people for, 6:50 at night?
6:30 start. Furman's a good team.
And it is a good team, yeah.
Well, they're a good program, I should say. I came to a conclusion, though, last night. One that you might appreciate.
Yeah.
They might slightly be ahead of your time, though. My junior year at NC State, 96, was Les Robinson's last team. Do you remember Les Robinson's last team?
I don't remember his last team.
They had Todd Fuller.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And every game in the ACC back then in the old round robin was this just gut-wrenching, just heart-smashing loss. Mm-hmm. And they fought every game, but they just couldn't win the games.
Right.
This team kind of reminds me of that team. In the sense that that team had a pro in Todd Fuller. He was a lottery pick.
Sure.
Jerquavion Smith is a pro. I think this team in a bubble or in a vacuum, this team is a good basketball team. But under the microscope of, hey, you got to stop fooling around and make the tournament, or your coach is not going to be here.
Yeah.
It becomes a little bit tighter. They played really loose last night. I think I saw the best version of what NC State could be last night. My appreciation for Jarkel Joyner continues to increase. Shouts to Levi Watkins, their assistant coach, for bringing Jarkel here from Ole Miss.
Yeah.
DJ Burns, the big boy. I mean, he got a lot of run in that first half. Second half was mostly Ernest Ross. New guy, Thomas. LJ Thomas. I don't know where the heck he came from.
Yeah.
He had 14 points last night. He looked like he could be an ACC player. But I'm looking at Jack Clark, and I'm looking at some other things, and I'm going, they really need Thomas or Ross to come in and be that extra guy. I think you got a pro in Terquavion. I think you got a great college player in Joyner. And some of those other parts are functional, but you're missing that little extra fourth guy, if you will.
Well, to me, I don't think I'm not disagreeing with your overall point about NC State. For me, it's going to be a consistency of defense, which is what we saw last night. How many turnovers did Furman have in the first
half?
It's like 14 turnovers, I think it was.
NC State was able to put some pressure.
Yeah.
They were invested.
And we talked about this yesterday when it comes to defense. Defense is not necessarily about skill. It's about want-to factor. You got to go out there and want to play defense. And actually, it's something that Kevin Keatts referred to yesterday when he talked about how the team has no problem scoring. It's the other stuff that NC State has to work on.
I think one thing we've proven is that we can score the ball. Where I want us to continue to do is get better. I think, and I'm not sure about this, you guys can fact check that, I think we're leading the ACC in scoring. So that's never really been a problem with this team. It's just getting better in other areas.
So that's Kevin Keatts, head coach of the Wolfpack. You talked about that extra guy. Could Isaiah Miranda be that extra guy? He's straight out of high school.
He was there last night at the end of the bench, and when they showed him on the Jumbotron, people were excited. And I had a chance to talk to Kevin last night. I meant to ask him about Miranda. I didn't, in full disclosure.
Yeah.
But I've seen this before where we have this savior syndrome. If only Braxton Beverly was eligible.
Right.
If only Al Pinkins could get that extra year of eligibility.
Jeez.
Right?
Here's Keatts on Miranda showing up on campus and when you might see him, and also tempering those expectations.
Listen, I am so excited to have him, first of all. And he's a talented young man coming in. I want everybody to remember he is a high school kid that's coming into a program that's already been going for a while, where we've taken a foreign trip, and I think we played, 12 games. But he's talented. He runs the floor. He can block shots. He's got a skill level that's really good. He's a legitimate, in my opinion, top 30 player in the country. I do not know when he's going to play. Hopefully by the end of the week. He's cleared from everything and he can get some practice time. I wouldn't say be prepared for him to play against Vanderbilt. I wouldn't say be prepared for him to play against our next game after that. I don't know, but we're going to try to ease him in.
So there's Kevin Keats, as you said, a little bit on that savior syndrome with Isaiah Miranda. Also last night in Chapel Hill, Carolina had no problems beating Citadel. They got to the biscuit barrier, 100 points last night, 100-67. The Tar Heels going back to what you expect out of the Tar Heels. 24 assists on 32 made baskets.
Some ball movement.
Hey, that's exactly what it's about. And Hubert Davis makes it really, really simple for you to understand. They've had some time to practice. This gets back to what we talked about following that stretch of games that saw a 4-overtime loss to a very good Alabama team, by the way.
Who turned around and beat Houston, yeah.
So, yeah, that was the big, nationally, Alabama beating Houston last night was a big deal. And then, you follow that up with an ACC Big Ten Challenge game against Indiana. Then you go on the road again to Virginia Tech. You get the week off, ACC opponent, Georgia Tech, work on the things you want. Ball movement, getting it to Armando Bacot. It continued last night against the Citadel. Here's Hubert Davis on that time to practice.
We were on the road. It's just we were playing so many games and traveling, we couldn't practice. And so now that we've been home for a week and a half, we've actually had time to practice. And I know that sounds simple, but it's really a big deal. Just having an opportunity to build habits, to get out there and practice and find a rhythm. And also for me as a coach, to be able to coach that and to see that in practice as opposed to in the heat of a game, a 1-point game in the second half. It gives me confidence, it gives them confidence, and I really feel like being at home the last week and a half has really helped us in terms of becoming a better basketball team because we've been here and we've been able to practice.
So that's Hubert Davis, North Carolina head coach, on the win last night. Played a lot of guys off the bench as well in like the last 10 minutes of the game because it was a blowout. But here's the thing about North Carolina. It's good that they've been home. It's good that they're getting healthier. It's good that they've been able to practice and work through some stuff. But the schedule ramps back up again for the Tar Heels. And they have prove-it games coming up against Ohio State and Michigan before they get back into ACC play against Pitt and Wake Forest. So that's where the Tar Heels are right now. I would say cautious optimism that a difficult portion of their schedule has been put behind them. They can work on what they need to, refocus, and you'll see what the Tar Heels are truly capable of.
You're not going to want to hear this if you're even not a North Carolina fan. The ACC needs North Carolina to win these next two games.
They do.
These are important games for Carolina and the ACC.